Hello and welcome to the BSR Simmortal Porsche Cup live on Apex Racing TV. I'm Sam Fitzpatrick. Alongside me today is Ryan Walker and Tom Jacobs in the commentary booth with Marco Barbanet on the cameras tonight. And we're here, round 9 of the season at Zolder. And Ryan, one round before the showdown, crucially, it's still looking very close at the top of the standings. And if these previous 8 rounds didn't matter, this one sure has extra impetus on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Good evening, Sam. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, Zolder, an absolutely fantastic track, and any sort of car from my experience. Just one of those iconic tracks. I think the Grand Prix series or real life F1 Championship has visited here in the past, back in the 1970s and 1980s, I believe. And yeah, I think this series is going to produce great racing tonight. And yeah, judging by the times, it's going to be very, very close.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to have Tom Jacobs along with us today. And I don't know what experience you have around this circuit, Tom, but it's a bit of a unique one, isn't it? It's certainly an old school circuit. You can say that again. Narrow straights, difficult to overtake necessarily. But it is good fun, I must say, particularly in this car.
Yeah, it's a brilliant circuit. I've done a little bit of work around here in Skip Barbers, but mostly racing GT3 round here. It can be a tricky one, especially with the tight corners. It's quite easy to upset the car, so it really is going to be a challenge for the guys tonight. We've got a newcomer as well in the field, as Chaz Draycott in the number 2 car, so good luck to him tonight, but I'm sure these guys will have lots of fun. I'm looking forward to a good race, as I'm sure you are.
Yes, absolutely. We will be totally biased to Chaz today. Also, of course, Sam Kuma as well is out there, so we'll be giving some support to him as well. In the championship, like I said earlier on, it's Max Wright who's kind of creeped his way up into the top of the field. He's 40 points clear of Ronald Moons. Those two looking pretty good to qualify for the show, and behind that is Melcher, Ez, Dima, and Wood occupying all the places. Then a bit of a gap back actually, about 80 points if my bad maths, 90 points, even 100 points. Quite a big gap back to Raikkonen in 7th, so he's got to make up a few places. And then Michael Blake as well, still in with a small chance, as these drivers just completing their qualifying times now. But do you think these drivers will be approaching this race any different, Ryan, seeing that it is the showdown, particularly maybe those drivers already in the showdown spot? They cannot afford a poor result in this race 1 in particular.
I think it depends. I mean, for the drivers that are already in the showdown, or some of the drivers that are comfortably in the showdown, I think it's more of just. I think if I was in their shoes, I would just play it safe and just pick up as many points as I can get. But if you're a driver, it's just outside the showdown, but still in with a slight chance of making it, then I would use the approach of you've got nothing to lose, just go for it and just see how it pans out. So yeah, if you're outside the showdown positions, you've just got to basically go for it.
Yeah, definitely. And do you think these drivers will be approaching this any different, Tom, in terms of the race start here? Because, like I said earlier on, can be difficult to overtake around this circuit. Are we potentially going to see some more feisty racing in those first few corners, where maybe the best overtaking opportunity in the race could potentially be?
Yeah, it's always been difficult to overtake round here. As we said before, it's a narrow circuit, so I think it's going to be all out and focusing on getting a decent start, especially for the guys that are fighting for the championship. It's just going to be a case of trying not to trip over one another, especially to turn 1 and turn 2. We've seen it plenty of times in other series around here where it can really cause some damage to the rest of your race if you just trip over someone else right at the very start.
Charles Jaycott just missing the apex of that hairpin there. It's a bit of a unique hairpin, extremely slow corner. It's kind of an overtaking spot, but with the narrow circuit coming into it, it can be difficult to pull it off. And Chaz Jaycott in the end coming into the pits. We'll talk about that in race 3, of course. These first 2 races, 20 minutes in length. No pit stop required. The final race will be 35 minutes long. And of course, we've got a couple of reverse grids in there as well. Got a car with a slightly blown engine there. I'm sure that will be repaired for the race starts. And we will be able to go through the grid with you very soon. Yeah, here we go. Prince Kern on pole position. I think that might be his first pole of the season. Very good for him. Stuart McFadden only a 10th behind in second. Then it's Chris Wood, Jamie Eds, and Chaz Jacob rounding out the top 5. Behind that is Sam Kume, Max Veit, Ronald Moons, Steve Heppard, and Dennis Melcher in 10th. Behind that's McNally, Blake, Diemer, Jacobson, And Stevens, I don't think Thompson, Beard, or Cullinan or Malcolm are going to take the start, but we'll have to wait and see. Ryan, any final words before we get this one going?
I'm not sure. Just watch out for the mayhem and the chicanes on lap 1, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's certainly a good pointer because it could be a very interesting race start here. Now circuit, old school circuit, and yeah, certainly plenty at play going into this race. But it's Prince Kern from the pole position. Just got a couple more cars to grid up. Max Wright, Adam McNally, Lee Deemer. Josh Thompson, unfortunately, isn't going to be able to take the start with us today. Had a few complications. Hopefully, he'll still be eligible for the showdown. I don't know if they have some wildcard spots or something. He'd certainly warrant one if he would like one. Just got a couple more drivers to get on the grid now for this 20-minute race. Just got Max Wright and Alan McNally to get on the grid. We will be underway here. Cars already revving up their engines in preparation for this one. But Prince Kern hasn't taken a pole position all season. He has taken a few race victories, a couple very stunning race victories as well. And he'll prepare for the lights now for race 1 of the evening. And away we go here at Zolder. And what a start that is from Stuart McFadden from the front row of the grid. He already gets the race lead and can cover it off. Going into turn 1, Kern tries to respond, but there is no response available. And he's up into the race lead already. Prince Kern down into second with Chris Wood in third. A bit of a poor start for Kip Stevens, seemingly just getting a little bit detached from the rest of the field. But they round the first few corners now. And yeah, pretty clean start there, Tom, seemingly. But what a launch that was from Stuart McFadden.
Yeah, brilliant start for him, wasn't it? He seemed to get the clutch bite absolutely perfect and just released the car, and off it went. So you see him now in the number 53 car, and he is leading the pack and moving away from everyone else. But yeah, a nice clean start from everyone. Not too many moves and shakers, a few little positions changing here and there. But so far, pretty exciting stuff. At least everyone got through the first few corners quite safely.
Yeah, certainly looks that way. Prince Kern really cut the chicane. I think he may have a slowdown. And yes, he does. And he's now got a whole lot worse than a slowdown because he's gone round 180 degrees. I'll have to get back going, and he doesn't want to cause damage to that car either. A Joe who isn't confirmed with that spot in the showdown yet. And Ryan, that all stemmed from a bit of a clumsy slowdown in that first half lap.
Yeah, I was just looking at the replay. I think he might have cut the left side curb a little bit too much, and yeah, he got a slowdown, and yeah, the cars behind him just never had time to react, and it just caused everyone behind to bunch up and caused a bit of a concertina effect.
And Scott Malcolm as well is around, so he started pretty much right at the rear of the field, but yeah, his race has not got off to a good start either. But yeah, out in the lead, it is still Stuart McFadden, and he's got a comfortable lead over the rest of the field as they all file through these first few corners on lap 2.
Yep, just looking throughout the field and just to see if there's anyone else had any issues at the end of lap 1, and yeah, it seems apart from a couple of cars, but yeah, a couple of cars having issues on lap 1 with Kern and someone else. Yeah, apart from that, everyone made it through lap 1 okay.
Max right now looking for an attack as we go down the hill. Switch our attention to Ronald Moons having to defend, and in the end, right, couldn't quite make the move. And these chicanes, Tom, well, they really do cause a concertina effect, as we saw earlier on. Just a little bit of contact can create these types of chains, and here we are going into the hairpin.
Yeah, those chicanes can be a real issue for you. I find as well, if you get the first one wrong, it can really upset your lines throughout the rest of them and cost you some real time. So fortunately, most of the guys, apart from the contact we saw earlier, seem to have got through quite well from there. So guys, the field's starting to spread out a bit now, isn't it? We see Draycott's starting to maybe fall away a little bit from Chris Wood and Stuart McFadden, but he is maintaining that third place, and there's a bit of a train forming behind him now.
Yeah, we know Sam Kumo from this series, and of course as our good colleague as well, isn't going to do anything too reckless. He tends to be quite a passive driver, and yeah, certainly will not want to get into contact with his own colleague. I guess in third and fourth positions, one means of course second in the championship. All he needs is a fifth position in this race, and that would do very nicely for his points cumulative at the end of this race. Of course, I remind you, the end of this evening, we will have the showdown set, the top 6 drivers from the first 9 rounds of the championship. And the final 3 rounds will decide who the championship is after the points have been reset.
Yeah, I'm just looking throughout the field at the moment, and yeah, I noticed there's a familiar name that's back racing in iRacing after quite some time away, I believe. Ashley Beard, I think he's currently down in the 14th position at the moment. But yeah, it's good to see Ashley back in iRacing, back racing, and but good to see him on track again. There's a car behind. Oh, contact!
Efford makes the move. I think that was, well, was it Blake going into Dima there? I'm not quite sure. But a big braking zone. Of course, these cars don't always brake too well, Tom. It's really difficult to get those cars stopped when you're in such close proximity as Hefford goes off once again.
Yeah, so as we were saying about the brakes, it just seems like he managed to outbrake himself there. I think what happens is, as well, as a lot of guys come from the GTE version of this car, the 911 RSR that we have on the iRacing service, and then you come over to the Cup car, and it doesn't really tend to stop as well. It's more accustomed to the road car version than it is the full-blown race car version. So yeah, it can be quite a shock, especially when you go in really fast down the straights and into the tight hairpins. Yeah, there can be a bit of an issue to try and stop the cars at the moment. As we're now on board with the number 46 of Jamie Ayres in the Momo car, going well. He's actually lighting up the timing screen a bit as well. He's got green sectors in sector 1 and sector 3 and sector 5. So going well for him at the moment.
Yeah, another Jose is going very well at the moment. It's Chaz Jaycott on that last lap. He was half a second faster than the race leader. We were talking about him maybe getting a little bit detached from the top 2. Anything but seemingly, if that last lap has, proved anything. Although, will he be able to keep up this charge? Or was it a bit of a poor lap? Well, this is going to be a poor lap now for Chaz Jaycott because he's very nearly put it in the wall there.
Lead Demer spun. Yeah, just looking at the replay to see what happened to Lee, and yeah, it might have been. I think it might have they might have touched the grass possibly. Yeah, just put his left rear wheel on the grass and ended up spinning into the wall, and wow, that was it.
Yeah, really easy mistake to make on all iRacing tracks, but particularly here, Tom, with the grass very nearby, and of course that narrow circuit as well. But yeah, it's kind of difficult at that point of the circuit. The crest makes the car a little bit light, and it's very easy to make that mistake.
Yeah, I was speaking to a few of the drivers before the race as well, and they've found the setups quite loose on the rear that they've got for this season. So that obviously can upset the car a little bit more. And also the problem is the Porsche. If anyone's driven it back at home, is she's a feisty little madam, is the Porsche, and you get on the power too early and round it will go. It's not as bad as the V8 supercars on the iRacing service, but yeah, you need to keep your wits about you when driving this car.
Yeah, absolutely. And this chicane in particular, of course, with the braking zone, so difficult, so easy just to miss your braking point and take a whole lot of curb, which can give you a slowdown or completely unsettle the car. Kipson's just at the rear of this pack. I say that, actually, it's Count Ashley Beard. He's made his way up 3 positions already as Stevens will go through another position. He's now at 4 places from his start, past Anthony Jacobson. Nice move.
Yeah, that was a great move by Stevens. He was there to pick up the pieces when Jacobson got sideways, and yeah, managed to move himself up into 11th position. And yeah, right behind Anthony Jacobson now is Ashley Beard, who I know from past experiences of racing against him in other leagues. He's a bit of a, I wouldn't say over aggressive driver, but he's he likes to take his chances and pick up the pieces.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we got
Oh,
pieces down the pit straight here. Ray Cullen just about makes his way past there. I think that's Steve Hefford, was it? No, it wasn't. It was Anthony Jacobson. So we turned away from this battle, and clearly something has happened. So already Steven's got a little bit out of shape. And
oh,
unfortunately, the trees just blocked my view.
yeah. I was just looking at. I was just looking at the replay, and yeah, it just looks like Stevens just took, just got too close to the tire wall on the side of the track, and just slightly nudged it, and it made him go into a spin.
Yeah, is that just overdriving maybe, Tom, or a lack of concentration? Kip Stevens just a little bit careless there, though.
Yeah, I think it's as you look on board, there was a bit of a lock-up, wasn't there? And then he just seems to push it out wide. The car didn't seem to step out at all on him, and then just round it went. So I think maybe, as we said at the start, with guys fighting hard now because it's coming towards a little bit towards the end of the season, and it's all still to play for. I think the guys are getting feisty. Driving is coming into play here, and just mistakes can be made. So really, you just don't want to get the pressure too much on you. As we see Samuli Kumo now, he's starting to make inroads on Traz Draycott. I think Draycott is feeling the pressure after his mistake a few laps ago. And now Samuli Kumo all over the back of him here, Sam.
Yeah, we've also got side by side just behind Jamie Ayres managing to get past Ronald Moon. So Ayres is also a man on a mission, and this battle for a podium is well in the air right now. That wasn't a pun, by the way, not deliberate at least. But he is certainly on a charge, is Jamie currently. And yes, certainly Jacob and Kume are well in his sights. Of course, Kume, as I said earlier on, not usually the most aggressive driver. Maybe you'll completely prove me wrong here. But yeah, Jacob just needs to make sure he keeps his lines. They are now 6 seconds off the top two, so no chance of them catching up by the end of this race. It could well be a very nice little four-way scrap for the third spot on the podium.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Jamie Ayres, and yeah, I've been quite Jamie Ayres. I've been quite impressed by him this season so far. I mean, at the start of the season, he was I think he was a couple of seconds off the pace with his car, but he stuck with it. And as the seasons went on, he started getting quicker and quicker and quicker with his car. As yeah, we look back up to the battle towards the front for the final podium position between Chaz Draycott and Samuli Kumo. And yeah, I agree with Sam. I think Samuli won't do anything too rational or too aggressive. He's one of those people that he's more than happy to sit behind. As yeah, as Chaz gets a little bit sideways on the exit of the exit of the chicane.
Yeah, absolutely. And will Kume be able to go down the inside? The track really opens up on that entry to turn one. Actually, this is the widest part of the circuit. And maybe this is the best chance for Kume to make the move. But at the moment, doesn't have the confidence to do so. I would say, though, Tom, in this car, with the rear tyres and the wheel spin you get in this car, once you spin them up around so many traction zones around this circuit, it can be really difficult to cool them back down, and that can cause you a lot of issues.
Yeah, it can. I've driven this car a fair amount. If you do light the rears up coming off of a tight corner, the chances are it's going to take maybe 2 laps sometimes. Obviously, you've got somewhere around there. I'm not sure who that is. I can't see. It's Lee Deemer. So Lee Deemer round. I'm not sure what's happened to him there going into turn 1. I'm sure we'll get a replay on our screens at some point. But as we cut back to the action for the final podium position. And Draycott defending well here. I've got to say, Samuli Kumo is all over the back of him. But the defensive driving from Chaz Draycott is just absolutely fantastic here.
Yeah, a couple of slides for Jacob, but he's been able to keep it clean where it matters. And while this final chicane, it kind of looks like an overtaking spot. It's incredibly difficult to do so. Again, narrow braking and narrow part of the circuit. And all about just lining it up. Get a little bit of a concertina effect. The driver ahead, of course, always gets on the power earlier. And we've got Chris Wood round. And now this battle for third position is going to turn into the battle for second position, because Chaz Jacob is going to go down the inside into turn 1. And he's made the move. They're all wide, though. Jamie Ayres couldn't profit from it, though. Still side by side for second position. And down the inside is Jacob, and he's been able to establish that move, surely, unless Wood can get the cut back side by side just behind as well, with Kume holding off Ayres for another corner. Ayres off the circuit. But yeah, what a sudden twist of turn there. Wood was within half a second of the race leader, down into third.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just looking at the replay, and yeah, Chris Wood. It just looks like he just ended up. Always Wood gets a
Oh,
little
I
bit
think they've
twitchy.
both got a slowdown, I think, and that's going to allow Sam Kumo to go straight past the pair of them, and surely Ayres as well, if he can possibly profit from this. He's deep on the bricks, so we're going to see more contact. I think we
Oh,
almost
direct
did,
cuts
and
across the
another,
grass.
yeah, another slowdown, surely, for Chaz Jacob. This is not a good couple of corners for him. Jamie is desperately trying to get his way past him. To be fair to Jacob, getting out of the way. This has brought other drivers into the mix. Ronald Moon's one of them. Also, Max Wright is there or thereabouts as well. But what a crazy half lap that was, Tom.
That was fantastic, wasn't it? What brilliant racing we're having here today. I think the pressure got to Draycott a little bit from Samuli Kumo, and the fact that he managed to pass Chris Wood there. So yeah, he just had a couple of slowdowns, and that's just goes to show how tight this racing can be. So we've got a nice little bunch now that are all going to be fighting for that third place, and Jamie Ayres is looking very strong here. He does a 1:33.9 on that last lap. Compare that to the other guys, it seems to be a lot quicker. Apart from Max Wright, who did a 1:32.2. So you know the guy's still going strong here.
Yeah, cost each other
Oh,
a
Drake
lot.
got spun.
Oh, wow. So Jacob, well, from a pretty exemplary, I can't even say that word, 10 laps from him, well, it's all gone a bit rotten this past few corners. And, well, this was how it happened. Must have just overheated those rear tyres, and there you go, just the oversteer. And now she went. Has Jacob right to the rear of the field now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've
Chris.
got
Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
Tom.
so we've got Chris Wood off by the looks of it. He's dropped down to 6th place now in the number 87 machine for Team Mad. I'm not sure what happened here. We've got the replay. He was coming up on the rear of Jamie Ayres, coming up towards the chicane, went hard on the brakes. Yeah, I think he just locked the rears there. And that's that's all she wrote pretty much. And he was over the grass, and that's cost him positions now.
Well, Jacob's day hasn't gone badly. I don't think I don't think Chris Wood's day has gone too well either. Was running in second position within a second of the race leader. Just a couple of laps ago. He's far away from that, down into 6th place as we nearly see a bit of contact there. That Fritz Kern trying to make his way up to the field. Remember, feels a while ago, he started this race on pole position. Did not have a first good couple of laps at the start of this race. He's back up into 9th, and he could well gain a few more places by the end of this first race.
Yeah, it's a good recovery drive for Eric Kern at the moment. Yeah, considering his issues on lap one, and yeah, to get back up into the top 10 is a good recovery. As we look back up at the battle for 5th position between Max Wright and Chris Wood, and yeah, it's all kicked off in the last few laps, and yeah, all these issues or all these things kicking off. It's allowed Samuli Kumo up into second place, and currently he's got currently in a land of his own.
Yeah, Ronald Moon's in 4th place as well. I don't think Moons has overtaken anyone in this race yet. He starts at 8th, he's up into 4th. He's just profited from other people's mistakes, and that's how you get a good design. That's how you get second in the championship as well from Ronald Moons. Chris Wood right on the tail of Max Wright, certainly has more pace, just struggling to get the move done at the moment. Can Fritz Kern get the move done into the hairpin? He's going to go to the outside here, got a lot more confidence on the brakes. And, well, he just about gives his rival room, and that was very nicely done.
Yeah, that was a great. Oh, sorry, Tom.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I was just going to say a great move around the outside by Ferenc. He managed to get it done on the outside into the hairpin, and yeah, managed to break break later and get the move done. So yeah, good move by Ferenc.
Still Max Wright holding on against Chris Wood. Where is he going to get this one done, you think, Tom?
I think it's going to be coming towards the chicane after the long straight, as we see on board with Chris Wood now. It's difficult to pass for these first few corners because obviously you're carrying so much speed unless you can do a Kimi Raikkonen at the Brazilian Grand Prix and be quite brave around the outside. But yeah, as we see him come down the back straight now, he's got a decent run, hasn't he? We saw Max right in front of him. He made a little bit of a mistake as they go hard on the brakes, but I think he's just too far back at the moment. So as he bounces it hard across the curbs, and that's not going to do anything for his lap time.
Absolutely not. He's only got one more lap to go, or does he? I think he does. the race leaders are, well, 16 seconds up the road, so he might force another lap. 2 minutes to go, and lap time around here is about 90 seconds, so we'll have to wait and see with that one. But Chris Wood will be wanting to have all the corners he possibly can. He hasn't quite been able to nail one of these chicanes yet, but he's as close as can be through this hairpin, and actually maybe a chance. Gets into the slipstream now, heading into the final chicane, where he just glanced to the inside, or will he just back out of it? Down the inside goes Chris Wood, but yeah, once again, as I have said a couple of times, just really difficult to get that move done in the final chicane. Not a massive breaking point, and a very narrow entry as well.
Yeah, as we look back through the field, yeah, looking at the battle for 10th position between Dennis Meltzer, Chaz Draycott, and Michael. Yeah, yeah, it's just it's such a shame to see Chaz falling back through the field, because he was having a good run in the top three, and yeah, it's just kind of just went downhill from there. But yeah, it's yeah, good to see Chaz on track. He's on the pace as well, so it's a good sign. And as he goes up the inside of it, oh, I thought there was going to be contact there.
I don't know how there wasn't contact in the end. That was ever so close between the pair of them, and Jacob is still trying to come back at him. Gotta cover the inside line? No, you don't, because he's not enough, has Dennis Melcher. Oh, he's wide though, and that's going to cost him at least 2
That's
positions, because with the slowdown, and Steve Pepper's not going to be too far behind him either. Stuart McFadden's got 0.2 of a lap to go, and we've got 26 seconds left. So he should be able to cross line, which will force one extra lap for these guys. One extra lap for, of course, Ronald Means to get the move done on, Chris Wood to try to get past Ronald Means. Well, he has dropped off.
Yeah, I'm having a look at the timing sheets at the moment. And as we can see, you've got Max Wright and Chris Wood, who are still fighting quite hard. There's only a second between those guys at the moment. So I think that one's going to come down to the wire here, but I do think that Max Wright's going to have to pull something out. We've got a replay here. I'm not sure what we've got, but coming down the back straight towards the tight chicane. Everyone seems to be bumping over the curbs, and yet we've got Chris Wood does go ahead of Max Wright. So, sorry, he did get the move done there. So Chris Wood's now just got to maintain that 5th place.
Yeah, I was super confused about that as well. We didn't see that one, but of course, yeah, just being able to see the replay of that overtake. And, well, Wood, that's not the result he would have wanted, but watch out for him in race 2, especially if we get quite a small reverse grid. Now got Michael Blake under pressure from Dennis Melcher. Blake has actually made that move as well, I think, because Melcher cut the chicane. Hasn't given up on this place yet, but he needs a slightly better run over the crest if he's going to be able to protect the driver ahead. Stuart McFadden is approaching the final couple of chicanes now, actually, on this, the 14th lap of this race. And, well, we've talked about Stuart McFadden's flashing across this season, but he hasn't had to do any of that today, because he, after starting on 2nd position, he took the lead early on, and Stuart McFadden's going to take race 1 here at Zolder in a perfect performance, out in the lead, 10 seconds clear of Sam Kume. Fantastic result, its best result of the season. And, well, that was just a really gritty performance there from Sam Kume to finish in 2nd place. Then it's Jamie Ayres finishing in 3rd, Ronald Means 4th, Chris Wood in 5th. And that's pretty much all the battles sorted out there. So now I'm going side by side into the final chicane. And yeah, what a race that was, Tom. That was absolutely super. Usually this race 1 sometimes can be a little bit dull, and then race 2 and race 3 gets really exciting. If we get more exciting than that in race 2 and race 3, we're in for a show tonight.
Yeah, I think we're in for a fantastic show, aren't we? A lot of the guys put on brilliant performances. Jamie Ayres did well, good drive from him. Chris Wood, the fight between him and Max Wright was absolutely brilliant. But Stuart McFadden, I mean, what a drive from him. The gap that he pulled out over everyone else just goes to show why he won race 1. I mean, he had a fantastic start, didn't he? And then he just pulled away, and he's just consistent fast lap times. So a great drive from him. Unfortunate for Chaz Draycott, he was up there. But as we said before, if you overheat the tyres on this Porsche, then that can cause issues. But yeah, a brilliant win for Stuart McFadden, and very well done to him.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Ryan, we've seen quite a few rounds of this championship already. These drivers have got plenty of experience in this car now, but we still saw quite a few mistakes out there. I think that's got to come partly down to the difficulty of this circuit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, there's two chicanes around here. It's just if you take too much curb, you just end up getting a slowdown, or if you run too wide, you just end up getting a slowdown. And if cars are so close behind you, it just, as we mentioned earlier, it just causes a concertina effect, and it causes issues. And as proved by Ferenc Kern at the start of the race on lap 1, if you get a slowdown and cars are behind you, you just get bunched up and just end up getting spun round.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, we'll see less of that action. Well, maybe a little bit of it in races 2 and 3. But at the end of this race 1, Stuart McFadden takes away the race victory. 10 seconds clear of Sam Kuma in the end. Jamie has really good result in third after a bit of a struggling start. He gets that podium in the end. Ronald Moons was just rock solid in fourth. Chris Wood from fighting for the lead for a while, finishes in fifth. Decent recovery for him. Then it's Max Wright in sixth. Behind that was Kern, Jaycott, Blake and Melcher, and then behind that was Hebbard, McNally, Beard, Deemer, Stevens, Malcolm, and yeah, Malcolm will be the last eligible driver for the reverse grid, and then 2 laps down was Ray Cullen, 9 laps down was Anthony Jacobson. Marco, the joint best part of the broadcast now, it's spin the wheel.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. And the reverse grid wheel should be on your screen, hopefully. Maybe. Little bit shy. Here we go. So let's roll it. Well, 40, so basically a full reverse.
Yes, so Scott Malcolm, as I said, the last eligible driver for the reverse grid. So he will be on pole position for race 2 of the evening. Kip Stevens in second place, from what I can see at least. Kind of first top runner. It's probably Chaz Draycott, and he'll be starting in the midfield. So it could be a very interesting race 2. Race 1 was fantastic. Race 2 will hopefully be even better. We'll be back with you in about 25 minutes here at Zolder.
Team racing allows multiple iRacing members to team up and race together, just like in real-world endurance series. Teammates can share driving duties, spot for one another, or be a crew chief. Team racing is free, both to join a team and to create one. Each teammate races on his or her own computer from wherever they want to. Your teammates can be anywhere in the world, and changing drivers mid-race is as easy as a click of a button. iRacing features team endurance events ranging from just a couple of hours to 24 hours in length. So, if you fancy taking part, in an iRacing endurance race in the future, you can learn more about team racing on the teams page on the member website. The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My name is Steven Corpenos. I'm a senior web developer here at iRacing, and I work on the beta UI. It's funny because iRacing has been around for 10 years, but we want to keep delivering the best possible user experience to our customers, and we've found that the old UI isn't exactly what we're trying to deliver in 2018. We want to use new features and provide the best possible experience when using the sim. One of the projects that I've been working on is some custom heat racing configuration for hosted races. We've been listening to our customers. Everyone's been asking for custom heat races. Maybe you want to tweak a few things with the preset iRacing configurations. Well, now you can using the beta UI. So once you're at the home page of the beta UI, you just go to create a race. And from there you go to your set race options. And you'll notice here under event types, you can actually choose heat racing. First, I'm going to show you how to create a new format from scratch. You can choose the number of entrants. And as you can see, when I made that change, the change was actually reflected on the right side in the graph. Also, you can use the estimated duration at the bottom of the graph when you're changing the length to see what the total duration of your event will be. In addition, you can customize every aspect of the session information, practice, qualifying, heat races, consolations, and of course, the final feature race. Because the beta UI allows us to develop features that are robust and complex, this feature will be exclusively available on the beta UI. Once you've made all of the changes, you can hit save. Say you forgot what you selected. You can always preview it using the preview format button. We are very excited to release the brand new heat racing configuration feature that will be available in Season 3 of iRacing.
Before you can get on track, you'll need to calibrate your wheel and pedal set. You'll need to do this in iRacing even if you have already done this using your own controller software. Prior to entering the sim, make sure you've downloaded and installed the latest drivers from the manufacturer's website. Once that's done, follow these easy steps to calibrate your controller. We recommend calibrating in a test session, so pick a car and then click test. Don't go into a practice or official session. The last thing you want to do is have you go on track and crash into another car. Once you're in your test session, click on the options button. You will then see input calibration. This is where your calibration takes place. Start by clicking on the steering button. You will then be prompted to turn your wheel fully one direction and then another. Make sure you place your wheel back into its centering position before hitting done. Now, you'll be asked to turn your wheel 90 degrees to the left. Make sure it's at 90 and hold it there while hitting done. For pedals, click on the pedals button. Here you'll be asked to press the throttle all the way down and then release it. You'll do the same for the brake and clutch pedal if you have one. For the gearbox, you'll first be asked to set buttons for sequential shifting. Once complete, a prompt will ask if you have a H pattern shifter. If not, hit no. If yes, click it and you'll begin to map the gears individually. Once you've completed these steps, you are calibrated and ready to go racing.
Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
Gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Lee to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Trunkgate goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though. Slide left to the racetrack. Chris Benner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Makashube, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Year I was sitting at a desk as a sales manager, and now I'm official McLaren F1 simulator test driver.
So there's 1.4 behind.
This opportunity is huge.
That's faster than the factory McLaren driver, and he's done 6 laps.
Welcome back to the BSR Simmortal Porsche Cup here at Zolder. for round 9 of the season, the final round before the showdown, and we're here for race 2 of the evening. I'm Sam Fitzpatrick, alongside me is Tom Jacobs and Ryan Walker with Marco Balbnet on the cameras, and we are just screwing up for this race 2 of the evening. Scott Malcolm starts on pole position. Alongside him is Kip Stevens, next Lee Deemer, Ashley Beard, and Adam McNally rounding out the top 5. Ryan, superb race 1. Hopefully we'll see the same in race 2.
Yeah, race 1 was fantastic to watch. So it was, everything was kicking off, and it was good to see people getting good to see some surprises up at the front with Jamie Ayres and Samila Kumel getting their best results of the season, finishing in the second place and third place. So good to see those guys doing well.
We have got word that Scott Malcolm will be starting from the pits in this race. Doesn't fancy starting from the pole position, which is very understandable. Probably most likely best chance to start to finish the races to start from the back. Kip Stevens will start from the pole position then. Lee Deemer alongside him. Race 2 of the evening here at Zolder. And away we go. Lee Deemer gets an awesome start, and I think Stevens is already dropping down into 3rd position. Potentially will be able to hang it around the outside, potentially. We've got a little bit of contact in there. We've got a car on the inside, we've got a car in the middle. We've got cars everywhere through turn 1. And out in the lead, Lee Deemer is still out in the lead with Ashley Beard in 2nd. Steve Heffer's gone from 6th to 3rd already, as we see all kinds of cars going everywhere right now, Tom. That's not the start we wanted to see.
No, it wasn't, was it? But we said this before the start of race 1. These guys are going to be frantic for the championship, and you can lose everything in those first few corners. So unfortunate for those guys. So look, I think Jamie Ayres is involved in that. We have Chaz Draycott in there as well. And it looks like Michael Blake has also retired. So unfortunate for him. But if we look, there's quite a few battles forming here at the moment, Sam.
Yeah, absolutely. A long chain of cars, but already you can see the top 2 seemingly getting away a little bit. Lee Deemer, I think, has already taken a victory this season, and he's looking to back that up today. Sam Kumar was right in the heart of the mayhem, and you can just see everything going on around him. Managed to stay pretty clean in the end until right at the end where he got on a bit of a bump, maybe a little bit of grass as well, lost traction, but he's still in a decent position, up 3 places from his race start. But also Chris Wood up 6 positions from his start. He could be a real danger later on, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just looking back at the replay, and I think it was just everyone was just so bunched up, and it's the under braking as well. Everyone's bunched up, and just people were just maybe just being caught out or just had a lack of reaction time. But apart from that, no further issues to report, and everyone's made it through in one piece. Is we look at Ron Moons currently in 15th place.
Yeah, not a good start whatsoever for Moons. Remember, 2nd in the championship. His showdown spot pretty much confirmed, unlike a lot of other drivers out there. So he can, he can pretty much retire from these next 2 races. He should be okay for that spot. We might see an overtake here between Chaz Draycott, only a 10th behind Max Wright into the chicane. Kip Stevens got such a key behind him, Tom. And this is absolutely crazy. And going into the chicane, we've got more contact. I think that's Cullinan, Ayres and Hefford, I think.
I think one of the cars involved was Anthony. Is it? No, I thought.
Yeah, it could be Jacobson. I think he might be right.
So all kicking off from race 2. Race 1 was fine, and then everyone just I think people just want to put on a bit of a show before they get into the showdown stage of the.
Yeah, certainly looking that way. I think that's Stuart McFadden in the red car trying to make his way through the field. He's just behind Chris Wood and Dennis Melcher. Absolute chaos so far. And down the inside goes McFadden, and that's a very nice move. This is the opportunity, Tom, to make overtakes because they're all so bunched up.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? McFadden's trying to fight his way through the traffic. He's lost a few places there coming off that chicane. As we see now, Chris Wood trying to go up the inside in the turn 1. This is a bit of a risky move. They're still side by side at the moment. And as they come round the right-hander, he's going to try and go around the outside in the number 87 car now. Can he make it stick? And I think he actually has. I mean, that's a fantastic move around the outside there for the number 87 car of Chris Wood. So he is on a charge. And then behind him, obviously, you've got Stuart McFadden, your race 1 winner. And he's going to be he's got a lot of traffic issues here. He's also got Chaz Draycott, as we know, it's actually quite quick. round here, so he's making moves as well. As I see, Chaz gets quite high on the curbs and then loses a place back there to Max Wright. So some great battles happening, nearly touching there as it comes down towards the chicane. So it's all nice and tight.
Oh,
car spun in the chicane.
And that is number 86. Sorry, that's Dennis Melcher, who was having a fantastic run. And he just seems to have lost it on the brakes. I don't know whether there was any contact there, Sam.
I think Kern made a little bit of contact with him. Not sure whose fault that was, though. Too early to call. But here we go. This might give us a better view. Here's McNally and McFadden just, yeah, and then that's right. Now he just about makes his way through the field there. And, yeah, manages to gain a few positions. He'll be very pleased with that one. And, yeah, this was the one from Melcher. Then, so does Kern come in a little bit aggressively here? No, well, he's already lost it a bit and just gets helped around in the end by Kern. He loses out himself. Both of them really falling a few positions there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just, just looking throughout the field and looking up at the front as well. Yeah, Lee Deemer and Ashley Beard are having a great run at the moment. Currently sitting in, Lee Deemer's currently leading with Ashley Beard in second place. Yeah, Beard is 1.3 seconds behind and having a good run.
Yeah, and throwing Chris Wood potentially into this one because he's up into 4th place now past Kip Stevens. That's a crucial move, but all these positions still wide open. We've got pretty much the entire field all in one straight there, and it's not exactly a very long straight here at Zolder. Prince Kern trying to make his way back up through the field.
Yeah, the guys are really bunched up, aren't they? You can see on your screens at the top right there, the track map. And there's just one big cluster of cars all fighting for positions here. As we see the number 16 of Fennec Kern is going around the outside. And I think he's made that stick. And Traz Draycott goes through as well. So we've got a car round. I'm not sure which number that is. That's Stevens. That is the number 18 of Kip Stevens. So he had an unfortunate race 1. And it looks like he's had an unfortunate race 2 here as well.
Oh, Chaz Jacobs dropped it as well, and that's the same place where he nearly lost it in race 1, and he has lost it this time, and a day that promised so much for Chaz Jacobs. He's still got one more race to go, but certainly has potentially, lost a couple of potential podiums already today, and, yeah, that's not what he wanted whatsoever. And, yeah, here was the replay. Has he just got a little bit overeager on this, on the rear of the Kais? Just carried a little bit too much speed, has he? No, it's mainly on the traction. And into the wall he goes. Not too much damage on that car. And he'll just have to hope for a little bit of chaos up ahead.
Yeah, it looked like, Chaz ran wide a little bit in the hairpin and just tried to maybe just too eager getting back in the power when he ran wide and around she went and Chaz ended up hitting the wall. But yeah, he managed to get going again and might be. Let's see if we can try and gain some positions as we're currently on board with Max Wright sitting in 8th position at the moment.
Yep, championship leader versus 2nd in the championship. Max Wright versus Ronald Moons respectively. And Moons desperately trying to switch that round. He might already be ahead in the championship after that race 1 result. Very impressive from Ronald Moons, whereas Max Wright's been a little bit awry today as Kumo looks to the inside and he might just be able to pull that one off. Can he? No, Moons is going to stay around the outside, but Kumo has it done. And well, I was saying earlier on, Tom, how he's maybe not the most aggressive driver, Sam Kumo. It was anything but that, as we've got more cars off. Ashley Beard.
Yeah, it looks like we've got Beard off at the moment, and he's going slowly down the start-finish straight in the number 1 car. I'm not sure what happened to him. We've got the replay here. So he's coming down hard on the brakes, comes into the chicane, pops the wheel over the... Yeah, I think that was just a case of too early on the power there, Sam. And round he went. So unfortunate for him, but he was having a good run. But Steve Hefford, that's good news for him. He's now up into 2nd place.
Yeah, and that's another 3 position then for Chris Wood. And out in the lead now, Lee Deemer's got a 2.7 second lead. Further 4 seconds back to Chris Wood as well. So spread out in the lead. It's still very fiercely contested. This battle 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. As you can see the drivers ahead, not too far ahead either, so could certainly still get involved as well. No instant limit for these drivers, so they are completely free to use all the grass they like. Of course, as we've seen already today, can be quite problematic potentially with the wheel spin in this car. But Kumo up 6 positions from his start, and he's been extremely, extremely impressive so far with these moves. Next track for him, championship leader, Max Wright.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Simmortal's having a good run at the moment, and yeah, currently up into the top 10, I should say. As we currently look at Ashley Beard and Frank Kern battling for 5th position at the moment, and yeah, Kern gets a good run in the exit of the chicane, and he might be able to get the move done on Beard around the outside into turn 1 possible, or maybe try and do a cutback.
He's going to try to go all the way around the outside, and that's easy enough in the end for Prince Kern. Beard wasn't fighting too hard. He realizes that Kern has got a lot more experience in this series and seemingly has a pace advantage as well. So he goes through Stuart McFadden, well, very under the radar so far in this race. He's just very quietly gone about his business. Winner of race 1, as we see the return of McFlashing. And, well, I've been missing McFlashing quite a bit. But, well, Chris would be intimidated by that whatsoever. At the moment, not. It's the battle for P3, which could turn in for the race, which could turn into the battle for the race lead, Tom, because on that last lap, Wood was 2 seconds faster than the race leader. If these two start fighting, that charge might just halt a bit.
Yeah, it mightn't it? And we know how fast McFadden is as well, so he could be looking for his second race win as he has a little look down the inside on Chris Wood. He's gone up the inside, and yes, he's made it stick. A brilliant move there from him. He just got late on the brakes. It's very Danny Ricciardo-esque. Late on the brakes for him. A little flash of the lights from Chris Wood behind. And yeah, Stuart McFadden has now got clean air to go and chase the leaders.
Could we see a double for Stuart McFadden today? He's done it a couple of times before this season as Sam Coon makes that move on Max Wright. And, well, yeah, that's just very solid there from Sam Kume, really having a very good day at the office so far. But now, this is the question. McFadden can see the top 2. He's 4 seconds off the lead, and he's still got 9 minutes to do so. This has been a superb performance, a Josh Thompson-esque performance we've seen so far this season. And, well, yeah, just 2 more cars to overtake. Not going to be easy, Ryan, but, yeah, he's just really got to keep his head down and, yeah, catch up to Steve Hefford now.
Yeah, I think, yeah, Stuart's having a good run at the moment so far, considering when he started. And, yeah, to get up into the top 3 at this stage of the race is a great drive. And, yeah, if he just keeps his head down, he should keep his head down, I should say. He should be able to catch Steve Hefford, and if he can possibly get by Hefford, he might be able to close in on Lee Deemer, who's not that far ahead when we think about it.
Certainly catchable for Stuart McFadden. As we see the lights once again, Chris Wood already getting a little bit detached. Prince Kern 5 seconds behind these guys. Doubt he's going to really play too much of a factor in this one. So we've got a very close battle between Kumo, Moons, and Wright, seemingly. So Moons has now got past Max Wright. So the championship leader, well, he's struggling a little bit today for pace, and he's dropped down a few positions already. As Hefford under big pressure now, 0.6 of a second on that last lap. McFadden took another 1.5 seconds out of the 2 leaders. And, well, there's barely a gap between the 2 of them now.
Yeah, we've also got to look at McFadden's lap time. A 1:29.7 from the young Scotsman there in the number 53 car. And that is a brilliant time. That's absolutely fantastic. So I've got to say, Hefford's going to be looking in his mirrors, and if I was Lee Deemer as well, I'd be quite worried here because McFadden is on a charge, and he kicks up loads of dust coming through the right-hander, and we know how quick he is, so he's having a look now down the straight towards the chicane, but I think he's just a little bit too far back this time, but I think next time round he's going to get the move done. As he goes up the inside now.
Oh, he's got a beautiful run.
He's got a fantastic run, isn't he? So he's going to try and go round the outside, and is he going to stop back in?
He's backed out of it.
He's backed out now, so... yeah, I think he's going to get it done by the end of this lap.
Oh, just about. I thought there was going to be a bit of contact on the exit of the chicane there because McFadden just got that much better run in the exit of the chicane as the head up to this hit. Oh, Chris Wood got sideways.
Oh, McFadden's nearly gone to the inside. Hefford's deep on the brake, so these guys losing each other a bit of time. And, well, I'm sure Deemer will be liking this at the moment, but he will not be liking if Stuart McFadden, the CQR driver, can get the move down into the chicane. We've already seen him make one move into the final chicane. He cannot make another yet. but just offline every single corner right now is Steve Hefford. And once again, into turn 1, he's going to be under pressure. The gap between the two leaders, 2.3 seconds, but the gap between second and third, 0.3 of a second. And he's been able to survive 1 lap as Steve Hefford. I doubt he's going to be able to survive another 4 or 5. That's what he's going to have to do if he's going to keep second place in this race.
Yeah, I'm just looking back up at the front as well. What Hefford and McFadden battling. Oh, there's a bit.
Oh, he's round. And it's cost both of them, Hefford and McFadden. McFadden tried to get out of the way after tapping his opponent, but it has not worked out whatsoever. And from looking like a potential double, are we going to see more contact potentially? That was Adam McNally just going straight through the middle. And still, McFadden's going for the move. And these two aren't going to let each other go easily now after all of this. Getting very feisty between these two. It's getting personal, I think, now, Tom.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? But this is brilliant racecraft from those two. Unfortunately, you know, they did touch, but that is racing for you, and that is just a racing incident. But McFadden isn't giving up, is he? He is so fast round here. As we're on board with McFadden now in the number 53 car, and I'm interested to see what he can do coming into this chicane. He's going to have another. He's late on the brakes. He dives out the inside, and they nearly touch. McFadden does lock up and manages to get the car stopped before Hefford can cut the nose off that Porsche. So brilliant racing from these guys here. It's some of the best racing I've seen in sim racing in a long time.
Absolutely, this is superb, isn't it? And oh, this is a fantastic run now for McFadden, and he's going to be pulling alongside. Will he go for the dummy? Yes, he will. Nice one there from McFadden. If anything, a little bit of defense there from Steve Hefford into turn 1. McFadden not giving up, and there's contact between the two of them. Well, this battle, I hope, will go down to the wire, because it's certainly looking that way. Absolutely nothing being given between either of them.
Yeah, I'm just looking back at the replay of the incident between Hefford and McFadden, and for me anyway, I think most of the blame has to go. For me anyway, the blame is all of it's down to McFadden, just because he should have had more reaction time and should have been more aware. And I think for me anyway, the blame on the blame's all down to McFadden.
More
on that
contact, Kumo and Moons and Beard. I think, sorry for interrupting you there, Ryan, but yeah, just a bit of an incident down at the chicane. Kumo profits from it. He's up into 7th place now, which is very impressive from him. Oh, well, this is absolutely superb, isn't it, Tom? Just this battle carrying on going. And, well, they don't really care about where they finish. They just want to finish ahead of one another as McFadden goes to the inside. Can he get it done this time? He's had 4 or 5 stabs at it.
Bit of contact.
And big contact, door to door. McFadden cuts the corner. Is he going to get a stay on there? We've got a car off in the background as well, but we'll pay attention to this for a little longer. McFadden round the outside. Is he going to be able to muscle his way around? And there's more contact between the two of them. They get spun, and they're still going to be on the same piece of circuit as Kumo just about scooped his way through the pair of them. And, well, I don't know what Stuart McFadden has to do to get past Steve Hefford.
Yeah, we know McFadden is a faster driver, don't we? This time round at Zolder. But Hefford's defensive driving has been absolutely magnificent. Just look at the state of their cars. If there's ever anything to tell you guys, if you're watching at home, to join the iRacing service and get yourself involved, this is what it's all about. I've got to say, these guys, I know there's been contacts and things like that, and they'll probably might have a few words to say to each other after the race. But this is honestly some of the best racing I've seen in a very long time. And still McFadden will not give up after that incident, and they are still going at it. So McFadden still late on the brakes and trying to get past Hefford. Hefford's got very, very out of shape coming out of there. I think he may have overheated the rear tyres, and finally, after a mistake, McFadden manages to get the job done.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think Steve Hefford will be getting served at McFadden's local McDonald's since we know that McFadden works in one, I believe. Sorry if I offended you there, Stuart, but yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Ronald Means has a bit of a spin by himself there, so he loses a couple of positions. Yeah, McFadden, well, he's clear now. I wouldn't bet against them finding each other on circuit once again. Watch out for race 3 between those two, certainly, because that's very personal. Just Jacob, well, it shows how much time he lost earlier on, because he's absolutely no one, unfortunately. 12th position. Such frustration for Chaz so far today, but hopefully he'll get a big reverse go for race 3, and he could be a big danger later on. By the way, there's not really any
Heifer's
changes
gone
of
again.
all
Oh,
Heifer's round. Not sure what happened there, but yeah, just was going to say how there's not really any changes of position amongst kind of the top 10 now. It's all calmed down a bit. So we get a moment to breathe for the first time. Still got Melchett versus Jaycott going on out there, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we've had a fantastic race, haven't we, guys? It's been brilliant, and I'd heard rumours that this series produced some action, but my God, I didn't expect that. It has been absolutely brilliant racing tonight. Obviously, we've got race 3 coming up, which I'm really looking forward to. I hope you guys are at home. But yeah, it does give us a chance to breathe as Draycott does have a little look down the inside of Dennis Melchett, and no, not quite close enough yet, but there's some damage that Draycott is carrying on that thrust vector car. And I can't see that that's helping his top speed very much with all the aero imbalance he's going to have.
Oh, Spinner just ahead. Not sure who that is. I can just hear it. That was Ronald Moons. So not a good day for Ronald. Well, not a good race at least for Ronald Moons. Yeah, second in the championship, but maybe even championship leader after that race 1. But not having a great race 2. Hopefully he'll be back for race 3. We are on the final lap for the race leaders. These guys yet to start it. And yeah, it's pretty much the only battle going on. They've all kind of sorted themselves out somehow, but Jaycott significantly faster than Melcher, I believe. On that last lap, it was only 0.4 of a second faster. They both got a bit of damage. But Jaycott's on that lap, at least, really struggling to find a way past his rival.
I think we've just started the last lap as well. So, yep, this will be the last lap for these guys. And to say it's been a great drive by Lee Deemer, basically unchallenged. But he was closely followed by Steve Efford for a while, but he's kept his head, he's kept his cool, he's kept out of trouble. And yeah, I think this will be a well-deserved one for Lee. He's just kept. Oh, yeah, I think the gaps came right down to the last corner as well. I never seen that. It's half a second, or it was half a second.
Yeah, I don't know if he's taunting him or something, Lee Deemer, because he's been able to maintain the gap just over a second. On this lap, it's come down by about 0.7 of a second. So Deemer, leading by half a second, he's got one more corner to go. Wood will pile it into the final corner. It's not going to be enough, surely, although it could be close to Wood. Closing. I think it's going to be Deemer, though, to claim race 2 here at Zolder. He's just about got enough at the line. He made it difficult for himself on that last lap, cruising a little bit too slow. Even Trent Kernel was relatively close by the end. But Lee Deemer does take away race 2 here at Zolder as we got Stevens round. And if that wasn't action enough for Kip Stevens in that race, well, he's just added a little bit more. I don't think he's lost any positions. It was already down in 16th position, in fact. And yeah, that's pretty much it for these guys. Hefford has lost out to Jaycott, I think, right at the end. Or he's just got Jaycott. I'm not quite sure. Something's happened, and Jaycott, oh dear, into the wall again.
Unfortunate for Draycott, isn't it? He showed so much promise in race 1 and race 2. I know he's got the ability to do it. Jamie Ayres as well. Looks like he's drawn a bit of a meatball there, so he's managed to get it to the end. But as I say, it can be anyone's game in these cars. As I say, they are a fixed series. The series does provide a setup for you. So it is all down to your driver talent, pretty much. So as you see a replay now, I'm not sure. Oh, that's Lee Deemer. Lee Deemer, so he is your race 1 winner here at Zolder. Race 2 winner here at Zolder in the number 254 car. So a great drive from him and a fantastic victory, well deserved. Kept it clean, kept his cool, and yeah, well deserved from him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was a sublime performance. Got out in the lead early on. He started in third. He kind of started in second, and then he got first pretty much within the first 10 meters or so. So that was pretty easy for him from then on. He beats Chris Wood by about a 10th of a second in the end. Prince Kern got to within 5 seconds in the end after not a superb start, and after starting in 10th place as well. Certainly watch out for him in race 3. Alan McNally, fantastic drive to 4th, very under the radar, but really solid performance there. Sam Kumek, once again, solid points in 5th. Stuart McFadden recovers to 6th, and how he recovered to 6th, I do not know, after an incredible battle against Steve Hefford. Behind that was Max Wright with Cullinan, Dennis Melcher, and Steve Hefford rounding out the top 10. Behind that was Moons, Jaycott, Beard, Ayres, Malcolm, and Stevens will be the last eligible driver for the reverse grid. Unfortunately, Jacobson was 12 laps down, and Blake was 13 laps down. And Marco, second best time of the evening. It's the second reverse wheel.
It is, absolutely. I mean, after Interlagos, we had a fantastic show there, and we are keeping up the pace. These drivers are putting on a fantastic show. Let's see what race 3 has in store for us, so let's roll it. And it's going to be a full -1. So Scott Malcolm once again in pole position.
Yes, whether or not he'll take that pole
No.
position.
This time, Scott, you have to start from the pole because drivers would, I know people would kill to have 2 pole position in the same night with the reverse wheel. So, I mean, I think you guys agree with me.
Oh, 100%. Hopefully he will take that pole position. We'll wait and see. Jamie Ayres will be starting alongside him on the front row of the grid. If he does, we'll be back for the 35-minute race 3 in about 20 minutes' time. Do not miss it. Seen 2 fantastic races so far, and we'll see the third for the conclusion here at Zolder very soon.
Team racing allows multiple iRacing members to team up and race together, just like in real-world endurance series. Teammates can share driving duties, spot for one another, or be a crew chief. Team racing is free both to join a team and to create one. Each teammate races on his or her own computer from wherever they want to. Your teammates can be anywhere in the world, and changing drivers mid-race is as easy as a click of a button. iRacing features team endurance events ranging from just a couple of hours to 24 hours in length. So, if you fancy taking part in an iRacing endurance race in the future, you can learn more about team racing on the teams page on the member website. The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My name is Stephen Corpenos. I'm a senior web developer here at iRacing, and I work on the beta UI. It's funny because iRacing has been around for 10 years, but we want to keep delivering the best possible user experience to our customers, and we've found that the old UI isn't exactly what we're trying to deliver in 2018. We want to use new features and provide the best possible experience when using the sim. One of the projects that I've been working on is some custom heat racing configuration for hosted races. We've been listening to our customers. Everyone's been asking for custom heat races. Maybe you want to tweak a few things with the preset iRacing configurations. Well, now you can using the beta UI. So once you're at the home page of the beta UI, you just go to create a race. Then from there you go to your set race options. And you'll notice here under event types, you can actually choose heat racing. First, I'm going to show you how to create a new format from scratch. You can choose the number of entrants. And as you can see, when I made that change, the change was actually reflected on the right side in the graph. Also, you can use the estimated duration at the bottom of the graph when you're changing the length to see what the total duration of your event will be. In addition, you can customize every aspect of the session information, practice, qualifying, heat races, consolations, and of course, the final feature race. Because the beta UI allows us to develop features that are robust and complex, this feature will be exclusively available on the beta UI. Once you've made all of the changes, you can hit save. Say you forgot what you selected. You can always preview it using the preview format button. We are very excited to release the brand new heat racing configuration feature that will be available in Season 3 of iRacing.
Before you can get on track, you'll need to calibrate your wheel and pedal set. You'll need to do this in iRacing even if you have already done this using your own controller software. Prior to entering the sim, make sure you've downloaded and installed the latest drivers from the manufacturer's website. Once that's done, follow these easy steps to calibrate your controller. We recommend calibrating in a test session, so pick a car and then click test. Don't go into a practice or official session. The last thing you want to do is have you go on track and crash into another car. Once you're in your test session, click on the options button. You will then see input calibration. This is where your calibration takes place. Start by clicking on the steering button. You will then be prompted to turn your wheel fully one direction and then another. Make sure you place your wheel back into its centering position before hitting done. Now, you'll be asked to turn your wheel 90 degrees to the left. Make sure it's at 90 and hold it there while hitting done. For pedals, click on the pedals button. Here you'll be asked to press the throttle all the way down and then release it. You'll do the same for the brake and clutch pedal if you have one. For the gearbox, you'll first be asked to set buttons for sequential shifting. Once complete, a prompt will ask if you have a H pattern shifter. If not, hit no. If yes, click it and you'll begin to map the gears individually. Once you've completed these steps, you are calibrated and ready to go racing.
to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
He's gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Lee to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
He's trying this contact though. Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Venner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Makashube, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
And now I'm official McLaren F1 simulator test driver.
So there's 1.4 behind.
This opportunity is huge.
That's it, 46. That's faster than the factory McLaren driver, and he's done 6 laps.
Welcome back to race 3 of the evening in the BSR Simmortal Porsche Cup. And yeah, like I said, race 3 coming up for you. 35 minutes. We just had a reverse grid. And heading this reverse grid will be Scott Malcolm with Jamie Ayres alongside him on the front row. Then it's Ashley Beard, Jess Jacob, and Ronald Moons rounding out the top 5. I am joined by Tom Jacobs and Ryan Walker with Marco Barbanet on the cameras. And Tom, we've seen 2 fantastic races so far. To repeat what I said in race 2, hopefully the same.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get a fantastic race like we did in the first 2, and that can continue on. We're just waiting for Malcolm. I don't know whether he's going to start from the pits again. I'm thinking he might do, but yeah, hopefully we have a brilliant race. We see some great battles.
Absolutely. So Malcolm, yep, once again starting from the pit lane. So Jamie Ayres will be starting from the pole position. He's probably the big favourite here. Ashley Beard alongside Chaz Jacot starts in 3rd place. And we are away here at Zolder for the final round before the showdown. And Jacot has got an awesome start. Can he find his way through? It's almost too wide into turn 1. And going wide is Jamie Ayres. Is he going to lose that race lead? He's all over the
car spun, contact!
And a big contact with another one as well. Not sure who that was in the end, but out in the lead, it's Jamie Ayres still. Dennis Melcher is around, and that was Ronald Moons who went into him. And we got side by side for 2nd position. Stuart McFadden, awesome start. What a start. He's gone from 9th to 2nd on my screen, at least, or 10th to 2nd. What a start that is. I don't know how he's possibly done that, but he's up into 2nd position already, with Jamie Ayres leading the way. It's still sorting each other out, filing into position now, into the chicane. It can get so awkward into here. Max Wright just on the inside there. But yeah, once again, a crazy start. But Jamie Ayres away from the lead, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a crazy start in turn 1. Yeah, it was a fantastic start by Stuart McFadden. Was it contacting the chicane?
Chris Wood round. So one of the real fast drivers in this series, well, he's had issues in each one of these races. And he's to the back of the field. Can McFadden get this one done now? He was struggling to get the race win in race 2. But what a start this has been for him. He goes for the dummy. Down the inside goes Stuart McFadden. And he's surely going to get this one done. There's nothing that his rival can do. And Stuart McFadden has gone from 10th to 1st in this opening lap. What a start for the CQR driver.
Yeah, it's been brilliant, hasn't it? I don't know how he's managed to do that. Maybe we can get a replay of it. But his start was just unbelievable. We saw Dracop go through the middle. And I thought that Dracop was going to take 2nd place, but he backed off a little bit and just followed Jamie Ayres through. And then from there, all of a sudden, McFadden is all over them, and now he's leading this race. So cancel out that, everything that happened in race 2 for him after that battle and a few spins. He's well away now.
Absolutely, and we thought he was going to get the double, didn't we? Well, I think he's going to get the double anyway. He had 35 minutes to get from 10th on the grid to the lead, well, he's only taken a couple of them to make those positions done. And here was a replay of the race start. Ronald Moons was kind of at the centre of all the chaos, and it just gets nudged out there by Stuart McFadden, gets on the gravel, gets a little bit of wheel spin. And, well, there's the instant Dennis Melcher on the other side of the circuit. And they're both falling way down the field now.
Yeah, I was just watching the replay. It looked like Moons just got pushed out wide a little bit and onto the slippy AstroTurf, and maybe just tried to get on the power in that green AstroTurf and ended up getting wheel spin and just lost it. And unfortunately, Dennis Melcher was just the innocent party in that incident and ended up getting collected. And yeah, just apart from that, no further incidents as far as I can see.
By the way, if I can just say one thing, I'm just noticing right now that we are missing Sam Kumo, who was locked out of the session, sadly. So, too bad, because he was having a fantastic day today.
Absolutely, that's really disappointing. He would have been one of the front runners as well, for sure, would Sam. Been absolutely superb so far. Actually, Beard with a slowdown, I think, or maybe a little bit more serious than that. Going very slowly. I think it was just a slow down, although he's got a bit of damage on that car as well. Getting back up to speed now, but he's gone from 3rd to 13th so far in this race.
Yeah, just a little fact about Ashley Beard as well. Since he's came back to racing on iRacing, I believe Ashley is now using VR. So yeah, just a little random fact of Mr. Beard.
Well, whenever he gets into a bit of a torpedo crash, we'll certainly notice that. I'm sure he will. Chaz Draycott. Oh dear. Well, it's been a frustrating day so far for Chaz. He can still recover a decent result out of this because he's still in a very respectable P5. But Tom, this is getting really annoying now for Chaz, isn't it? Because he's had the pace today. Just too many of these kind of half mistakes, unfortunately.
Yeah, it has been, isn't it, from him? I think he just completely outbraked himself there. Did well, a little tap with the wall, but I think I'll just trade some paint with it. So unfortunate for him because he's had an absolute stonker. And who have we got nearly round there? That was Hefford there. Had a bit of an issue. So that's good news for Draycott because now he's got Hefford back in his sights again. So yeah, there's Draycott flashes the lights coming across the start-finish line. But he's had the pace all day, isn't he? He's had the pace all evening, and it's just been a few mistakes on the throttle and a few little taps of people that have sent him round as he tries to dive down the inside of Hefford there. He's got a nose. Can he do it? I think it's just stepped out a little bit, but he's still up on the inside of Hefford. And Draycott might get the move done. They're still side by side, and they nearly touch. They nearly touch, but I think, no, they're still side by side now as Hefford goes onto the grass. And they are still side by side. So Hefford's got the inside line. Draycott on the outside. Draycott goes hard, late on the brakes. Dives it over the curves, and that's going to be a big slowdown for him. So he couldn't get the car stopped, unfortunately. That's unfortunate for Draycott. He was doing so well, but now he's down into 6th place, bless him. But as we see the on board here, so he had Hefford on the inside. He went way too late on the brakes, didn't he? He just couldn't get the car stopped. That inside curb, upset the car too much. And, yeah, he might have damaged the floor there. So unfortunate for Draycott.
Yeah, I know I shouldn't laugh, but just the way we went across that curve, across the chicane, it just looked like he was trying to go for a takeoff.
Absolutely insane there from Jacob. Oh, has he got another slowdown? He's going very slowly. Has he got more serious damage actually than maybe we first thought? Is he going to come into the pits here? Yes, he is. Really awkward pit entry here, actually. Especially when you're behind another Joe. It's really worth. Oh, Kip Stevens is around in the background. Well, he's had a couple of spins already today, but he's pulled down. So we wait to see what. Oh, wow. And another driver as well. Ashley Beard. He started this race on the front row of the grid. And I think he may have even escaped back to the pits.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to them there. Yeah, we're currently looking at 7th place Frank Kern, or yeah, just about to look at a replay as well. Yeah, it looks like Ashley Beard just spun it. Oh, we just avoided Kip Stevens as he spun. Yeah, I think Beard just spun it round, and yeah, he just ended up escaping to the pits.
Well, hopefully we'll see him in the showdown races. He's not going to qualify for the showdown, unfortunately. I don't think we're going to know who the actual qualifying drivers for the showdown are tonight. We'll have a decent guess at who's going to qualify for that showdown. Top 6, of course, from these first 9 rounds. Get into the final 3 round shoots off. By the way, out in the lead, Stuart McFadden is 8 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Dominance. He was 10 seconds clear at the end of race 1. This could be half a minute clear by the end of this race. Absolutely clinical driving on the CQR driver.
Yeah, absolutely. McFadden's putting in McFadden's been pretty quick. Almost been pretty quick most of this evening. I wouldn't, as you say, I wouldn't rule it out of him being dominating this race. It's just been so much quicker than everyone else this evening so far. As we're looking at the battle, currently looking at the battle for 5th position between Steve Hefford, Michael Blake, and Frank Kern.
Blake up 11 places, started 17th on the grid. Really impressive from him. Ronald Moon's recovering after, he was the innocent party, wasn't he, on that first lap, just being absolutely taken out. No chance for him, and he's trying to get past Chris Wood, or is Chris Wood trying to get past him? I'm not quite sure. These two drivers really should be a lot further up the field than they are. Wood with a much cleaner car than his rival, and he does manage to get round the outside of him.
Yeah, so we know how fast these guys can be, especially Blake's a nice, quick guy, as we see the battle between him and Kern behind him, actually. I think that's going to be one to watch, fellas. Later on in this race, they are going to be going at it for the rest of the race. But and then we see Jamie Ayres there going very deep into the final hairpin. So he's going to have McNally behind him. And only 3/10 between these guys now. So McNally's going to have a little look up the inside, but I think he's just a little bit too far back this time. So this race really heating up to be a good one, guys.
Really
Yeah,
good race. Oh, sorry, Ryan.
No, you go first.
I was just going to say, just a really good day turning out for Adam McNally because we didn't see too much of him in race 1, but a very impressive race 2. And, well, yeah, top 3 currently in race 3. And I think he may have just got past Jamie Ayres, according to my screen. No, Ayres is still in second place, so. Lee Deemer, first driver to make his pit stop. Chaz Jacob, by the way, well, he had a very long pit stop, unfortunately. So I think Chaz might be out of the running. Hopefully he's still racing up there. But yeah, just a really frustrating day for him. But yeah, still this battle between Blake and Kern going on. Kern looks to the inside. That'd be a very brave move. He's going to go for it anyway. The Apex Racing UK driver. Currently not in the shed. He needs some result today, I think, to qualify. And that's what he's trying to do. He's up into the top 6.
Yep, we're currently looking at the battle between Jamie Ayres and Adam McNally for second place, and yeah, I have to say it's been a good run by Adam so far. Considering it's been a bit of a quiet evening for him so far. Yeah, he's been doing okay, and yeah, he's doing well in race 3 so far, and currently sitting in third place just behind Jamie Ayres. And yeah, Adam's another one of those people that's been improving as the season goes on, and yeah, he's been getting quicker in this car, and yeah, he's been rewarded with a good run so far.
Also, just behind these guys is Rafe Cullinan. And Cullinan going into this round was 7th in the showdown. He's had a bit of an underwhelming first couple of races, but this 4th place could be a very healthy haul of points. It'd be certainly fantastic to see him qualifying for the showdown because he's a very talented driver. Of course, Kern, going into this race, was 9th, 10th even. I don't really know how that's happened because he's been one of the fastest drivers so far this season, but not a fantastic day for him either. Of course, all those points will manifest after this round.
Yeah, we've had quite an eventful race so far. I think it's all going to come into fruition towards the end. The drivers all spaced out a little bit at the moment. You see Kern's still making inroads on Hefford. So a lot of drivers out there at the moment have got clean air. Michael Blake, though, in the number 44, he's having a fantastic race. He's moved up 10 places from where he started. So a good amount of racing from him. He seems to be on the pace and slowly catching down this battle between Hefford and Kern. And that will slow those guys down while they're fighting. So Blake could possibly get into the top 5 here.
Yeah, he's a man on a mission, is Michael Blake. And yeah, Kern carries on getting held up behind Hefford, who, well, he was quite firm in defence earlier on. I wonder if he'll keep up that policy in this one as Kern actually goes straight past Hefford. I wonder if Hefford was even lifting off there. It was a bit of an odd one, or maybe he messed up the hairpin. Not quite sure, but the Apex Racing UK driver now moves up into 5th position, and certainly a podium or even second place looking very possible for him now.
Yep, we're just currently looking at the back of Jamie Ayres, looking at Adam McNally, and yeah, McNally ran slightly wide in turn 1, and gave Jamie a bit of breathing spaces. Also in the background, you can see Ralph Cullinan slowly catching these guys.
He is. On that last lap, he was 9/10 faster than Jamie Ayres. So, yeah, catching at a rate of knots. And you can see the chasing pack behind. Max Wright also actually in there as well. He's currently in 8th place. He has decent pace, was half a second faster than second place on that last lap. So these guys are all getting closer to one another. And, yeah, hopefully we'll have a nice train of cars by the time we get into the pit stops. These drivers, of course, can make a pit stop at this point, but you'd probably not expect it unless they were in traffic. Of course, you don't want to carry any more fuel than you have to. But yeah, certainly the pit window open for these guys now.
Yeah, it might be. I'm expecting the guys to come in, possibly the first main guys to come in, possibly in the next 5 laps or so. Not really sure here what the plan is, whether the undercut's the best or the overcut. But obviously, the problem is now as they're starting to all form together. And it's the same in any motorsport, in sim racing and in real life. You don't want to get caught up in too much traffic, so we might see the guys as they start to bunch up and start to take their pit stops so they don't get held up too much in battles. As we see Jamie Ayres coming through for lap 10. And he's still got Adam McNally hot on his heels, but we know how quick Jamie Ayres is and how good a defensive driver he can be. So McNally is going to have a lot of work to do to try and get past him here.
By the way, just to, let you know, Stuart McLaren, 14 seconds in the lead. He's fine, everyone. He's just absolutely dominating right now. Out in the lead. On that last lap, was only 7/10 faster than second place. But still, the only driver, I think, to set a 29 so far. Everyone else, really, their best times are high 30. So absolutely incredible so far. Now a little bit squirrely coming out of the chicane. Actually, maybe even getting a bit of a slow down here, going very slowly through a couple of these corners, just giving his rival a little bit of space. Yeah, and falls to about 1.3 seconds behind. But yeah, like I said, these guys are all closing in on one another. We're kind of 2 seconds behind. Really, no wheel-to-wheel battles going on at the moment. For the first time today, no drivers within 1 second of one another. But as I said earlier, the pit stops certain to shake that all up a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a bit spread out at the moment. Everyone's it seems to have spread out a little bit, and yeah, there's not really any battles going on throughout the field. I think the closest battle we've got at the moment is currently this battle with Ayres, McNally, and also Cullen and Solly Cats and these guys in the background. So yeah, it could be on for a good battle for maybe the second podium position towards the end of the race.
If you were McNally in this situation, Tom, would you be contemplating the undercut potentially just to get a little bit of free air?
I think it's one of them, isn't it? At the moment, he knows he can keep pace to Jamie Ayres, and he knows that, Jamie Ayres is starting to pull away a little bit. But I think as soon as the battle starts heating up, maybe he's waiting for Jamie Ayres to make a slight mistake, which Jamie Ayres does there, puts a little bit too much over the curb. So, to be honest with you, if I was him, I'd probably hold out until the fuel's almost at zero and then put it into the pits.
Of course, a circuit where there's not many straights, as you've probably seen from this onboard so far, and quite a lot of breaking points. Yeah, you're not on the throttle for a whole lot of time around this circuit, so these drivers could potentially go quite far in this race. Usually we see them go to within about 7 or 8 minutes of the finish. I expect them to go within about 5 today, so plenty of leniency with the fuel. And of course that pit entry as well, you can see it just straight ahead can be very difficult with the driver ahead, of course, braking very similar to circuit Gilles Villeneuve, of course, and McNally closer than ever. Gap is 0.2 of a second across the start-finish line as Dima a little bit all over the place, just going into that chicane. But back to this battle, as holding on still against McNally, and they have dropped Cullinan a little bit as well, but yeah, 0.3 between these guys still.
Yeah, this battle between Jamie Ayres and McNally is just it just won't die down. It's just yeah, it seems to be McNally was falling back a little bit, and then he's just got his head back into gear, and he's managed to close the gap back down, and he's right behind Ayres again. And I think this battle could go down to the end of the race, and I think it could also be decided in the pit stops as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what sort of strategies these guys go with. Will McNally pit early, or will McNally try and go as long as possible, and will Ayres try and pit early, or go as long as possible as well?
Yeah, can't go tries to second guess each other as well. Of course, you really do want that clear run into the pit lane. It can save you about 2 seconds. And right now, unless he went to the inside and then coming back into the pits potentially, McNally doesn't really have that option as they drive between the trees here at Zolder. Oh, he's so close, and now is this the opportunity for him? He's got a superb exit from that chicane, and they are dead level across the line, maybe just moving a little bit ahead. His nose, his splits are ahead now, Adam McNally, but he's got the outside line. Probably not the preferred one, but he's going to try to make it the preferred one as he goes around the outside. A bit of a slide there for Jamie Ayres. Ayres not giving up though, but around the outside through turn 2 is a difficult one, and Adam McNally, that's a superb move, Tom, up into second place.
Yeah, it was brilliant, wasn't it? And Jamie Ayres is trying to answer that, but just didn't seem to have anything. I thought that Jamie would have held on to the position, going into turn one as they come down the straight now. And I think Jamie is going to have a little look up the inside on the brakes. No, he's too far back. So a brilliant move from McNally there, who goes really far over the curb. He might end up with a slowdown, but he doesn't seem to have had. And this has brought Jamie Ayres back into play. Jamie Ayres round the outside now, and he's going to look up the inside. And no, so McNally goes straight on. And then, so you've got Jamie Ayres does take the position. So unfortunate for McNally there. Made a little bit of a mistake, and now he's got all that work to do again.
Yeah, worked so hard. Remember, he was just trailing his rival for probably, 5 to 10 laps. I'm not sure how long it was, but had to work really hard. Found his way through with a really nice executed move. 3 corners later, it's all undone. And now he's got to fight both Cullinan and Prince Kern as well, who made this way. It's a 4-way battle, as we've now got 2 of them in, McNally and Ayres, both into the pits. The other 2 staying out.
Yeah, I think Jamie Ayres has just decided it's not worth scrapping with the cars that were catching him and McNally. I think he's just decided that it's maybe time to pit early and try and get some clear air. But yeah, also McNally's in the pits as well, along with Steve Hefford.
So certainly, this is the time maybe for these drivers to pit, but they could have pitted earlier, so I don't really want to say the pit window is open as such. We've got 15 minutes to go, and now the question is, what does Cullinan and Kern do? Do they really want to fight against one another? Ayres coming back out on circuit. He's crucially ahead of McNally still. And how much traffic are these guys in? A bit of an awkward exit here. Got to be very careful of that white line as well. They are, well, that's Kip Stevens just going through, so 1 extra car planning McNally to pass shouldn't be too much of an issue, and now they've really got to put the hammer down to try to stay ahead of the likes of Cullinan and Kern when they make their pit stops.
Yeah, absolutely. Oops, sorry, Tom.
Go on.
I was just going to say, I think I'll be interested to see when Cullinan and Kern pit, because I think if I was Kern, I would try and stay out as long as possible and try and take less fuel at the pit stop and save some time. I mean, Kern's got a good chance of finishing in top 3 if he can just keep doing what he's doing.
Well, he's struggling to find a way past this rival at the moment. Oh, Michael Blake is really, Lee Deemer trying to get past Max Wright. They're both a little bit deep, although, well, I say that, they both hit both apexes excellently. As Lee Deemer, trying to get closer and closer now to Max Wright. He's had a bit of a disappointing day, the championship leader, but he's done everything he needs to do to qualify for the showdown with his previous results being Mr. Consistent so far this season. And these guys getting a little bit detached from the drivers ahead. Their full pit stop down on the front runners, unfortunately, but still having a nice old duel between each other.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? I mean, we know how quick Deemer can be. I mean, especially in race 2. And I've driven against him before, and I can say he's a fair driver, but also a very quick one. I think he's going to get this move done eventually, but then again, it's all going to come down to pit stops. But I am just also going to say, Stuart McFadden now is 19 seconds ahead of everyone else, so he is absolutely storming away here. A complete dominant drive, and when is he going to make his pit stop? Although I don't think that's going to affect his position in any way.
He could, like you said, he could potentially make his pit stop and stay ahead of everyone else. I don't know if there's well, I guess he wouldn't have led every lap, would he? He didn't technically lead the start. He did lead after lap 1 though. But basically, he's been very dominant, and that qualifying half a minute, well, it's not looking quite so crazy right now, because it's edging that way. Prince Kern, though, he won't really care about that. He literally only cares about getting past Viv Cullinan, because right now his second position potential is being a bit compromised by the by Viv Cullinan, the Irishman. Chris Wood, by the way, into the pits as well.
Just looking back up at this battle for second place between Cullinan and Kern. I think if I was in Kern's shoes at the moment, if I was stuck behind Cullinan, I would possibly dive into the pits in this lap and try and get some clear air, and just after the pit stop, try and put some quick laps down to try and jump Cullinan in the pit stops.
Well, just comparing their times to the drivers we've already seen pit, so Cullinan and Kern, kind of 30.5, 30.6. Compare that to, who do we need to compare that to? McNally and also Ez. 31.5 actually for Ez and 30.7 for McNally. So actually, they're still edging out that gap. Maybe a little bit of traffic for those guys as McFadden comes into the pits. It doesn't really matter. Either way is Kern now, and Cullinan will Kern come into the pits. There's not much space on the outside there whatsoever. They both stay out. And well, if they keep on battling like this, they're going to cost each other a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised that Kieran didn't pit this lap. If I was him, I would have just dived into the pits and try and maybe do try an undercut on Cullinan. But yeah, these guys are battling away are just costing each other time, and I think looking at the lap times, it's just it's so with McNally and Kieran and Cullinan and the people round about these positions, it's just they're just costing each other time, and yeah. McNally and people like Ayers as well would just easily jump these two.
Dropped into 31s that lap due to their battling. That's about half a second slower than what they can do. So that's how much time they're losing each other. And it was so close with the others as well earlier on. This is really costing each other potentially. But of course, if Kern doesn't get a clean run into that pit lane, that's another 3 seconds lost potentially. Because you'll have to, you know, brake the same time as Cullinan does. Because of course you've got the chicane just before the pit lane entry. Cullinan just about got that gap. Quarter of a second. Will Kern look to the inside? No. You've seen him being a very secure driver so far this season, Prince Kern. Not going to make too much of a rash move, but yep, this time 9 minutes to go. Will either of them blink? Yes. If Cullinan does, he's into the pits.
So what he needs now then is, sorry for cutting you off there, Jamie. What Cullinan needs now is a decent stop, and he needs to make sure that he can get out. He's not, obviously, they're not going to challenge McFadden here, but when Kern does eventually come in for his stop, Cullinan needs to make sure that he's got the undercut on him. So from Kern, if I was in his car, I'd be turning the wick up to 1,000 and putting in the best laps I can. He needs qualifying laps now. So that he can get that jump on him and get the move done, and then he might secure himself a second place, although Michael Blake is also going very well.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking at Adam McNally, yeah, Cullinan's just leaving the pits right now, so I think it's going to be close with these guys. Can Cullinan try and jump these guys on the pit stop? Yeah, he's just leaving the pit exit now. It's going to be tight.
I think Ez is just going to have this one. Is he?
It's going to be
I'm
close.
not sure. Maybe Ez. Yes, Ez just about gets ahead. Can McNally get ahead? Right in the middle of this right now. As Cullinan goes down the inside, they are dead level. Heading into turn 4 now. Can Cullinan just shove out his rival? McNally's going to try to go around the outside. And if you can get the outside here, you can get the inside potentially at the end of this next straight. However, it's the inside the line you want. Cullinan on the outside. Which of these drivers is going to give up? Cullinan surely just backing out. That was probably the wise thing to do. And well, McNally's now ahead. Can Cullinan actually respond potentially down the hill? There's going to be half a chance into this next chicane, but not quite. And now I've only got Kern to make the pit stop, but yeah, super close amongst these 3 drivers now.
Yeah, that was super close on the exit of the pit. The exit of the pit lane between Cullinan, between Cullinan and McNally. McNally just managed to get the move done, and yeah, that was super close. But I think Kern's in the pit lane actually.
Oh, Air's off the.
Oh, Air's off.
The driver who was potentially going to inherit second position, where he's made a mistake, similar to race 1, I believe he made a mistake as well. And well, yeah, he's falling down the order there, so that's very disappointing for Jamie Ayres.
Oh, Cap Stevens
like
spun.
you said, Ryan. Oh, and Stevens is spun as well. Kern is coming out of the pit. Where's he going to be in relation to these guys? Was his in-lap good enough for him to perhaps get ahead of Ayres and Co? Yes, he's got ahead. So in the pit stops, Ferenc Kern has gone from 5th to 2nd, and that's what you call a good strategy, Tom.
Yeah, it was fantastic, wasn't it? I said that. I said he should have taken the undercut, and he did, and he got it done. I think what slowed down Cullinan was the fact that he got caught up in that battle. As we just see the replay here from Jamie Ayres, coming down to the hairpin, he just completely outbraked himself, didn't he? So unfortunate for him, because he's been having a great race so far. As we go back to this battle towards the front, Towards the back. Sorry, with Kip. Oh, it's a replay with Kip Stevens. Do apologise. I've got my timing screens a bit wrong. Just a little bit too much power, and round he went there.
Yeah, he's had one too many of them today, or a few too many of them today, as Kip Stevens. Not the best day in the office for him. Cullen very slow, letting past Jamie Ayres, I think, there. So Cullen maybe picking up a slowdown, and Blake has already made his pit stop, so this is for position. So Cullinan, from looking as though he could maybe, get into second position, well, all of a sudden he's now got two very quick drivers just behind him in the form of Woods and Wright. So yeah, very dangerous for him right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Wood gets a little bit, not Wood. Blake gets a little bit sideways, I should say. Gets sideways on the exit of this chicane, and yeah, Wood's got to run. Wood's got to run into turn one. Can he try and hold it on the outside?
Wood has already made his pit stop, so this is 100% for position as he goes down the inside, being super fast today, Chris Wood, and he's using all that speed to pull ahead now of Michael Blake. And now he can go after Big Cullen, potentially a podium, potentially even on the cards for him. Well, probably top four more realistic with, he's only got 4.5 minutes to do it now. Oh, across the curves there for Jamie Ayres. Could that be a slowdown? I'm not sure if it is or not, because Cullen is certainly closing in on him as we head into this 3-point chicane. Seemingly getting away with the slowdown there, but Cullen all over the back of him.
Yeah, Cullen's all over him like a ras, and yeah, I think it's only a matter of time before Cullen possibly gets by Jamie Ayres. I've been watching Jamie Ayres the last couple of laps, and he's been a bit erratic as he gets a bit sideways on the exit of the hairpin there.
I'm just thinking to myself, actually, guys, after Jamie Ayres went over that curb, he seems to, I don't know whether he slowed down too much, but we saw with Drake earlier how damaging those curbs can be to these cars, to the underside. And of course, the underside producing most of the downforce on these, as well as the rear wing. And that can really slow you down on the straights, as well as that damage that will cause excess drag. So, as I said at the start of the race, with 4 minutes to go, it's all starting to come into fruition here, and I think we've got a really good battle on our hands here at Zolder. I'm enjoying it. I know we are in the commentary box, and I hope you guys are enjoying it at home as well on Apex Racing TV.
Yeah, that was a very good point with the curb. That could certainly be the damage traps, maybe costing him. But right now, he's pulled a little bit away because Big Cullen is busy having to depend from Chris Wood. And you can see how dangerous the curbs are here. It's an odd one because you get damage from hitting them too hard, but you go the fastest through them by kind of hitting them as little as possible. You really just want to skim them as little as possible. Cullen still ahead, though, of Chris Wood, who's, like I said earlier on, been very fast today, just been caught up in a few too many incidents. Trent Kern, by the way, really establishing that second place race, 2 seconds ahead of Adam McNally, who's another 4 seconds
McNally got
ahead.
Sideways.
Yeah, McNally's had a bit of a mistake there, but he's still okay, still in third position. Gonna be another podium for him. Jamie Ayres, though, holding off Cullen and Wood and Blake with Wright. You can just see in the background 5 seconds behind.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, it does look good throughout the field. I think the closest battle we've got at the moment is this battle between Jamie Ayres, Cullen, Wood, and Blake. As Chris Wood has got a run in Cullen into turn one, and he's trying to go around the outside. Can you hold it on the outside?
Almost squeezing him there is Cullinan, but Wood's going to fight his way down the inside. And is that good enough for him? The inside line we've seen into turn 4 is the ideal one, but Cullinan's not listening to that. He doesn't want to listen to the tarmac either because he likes the grass up there, but it's not rewarded him well. Almost making a little bit of contact because Wood got all out of position. He's on the inside here. Surely the ideal line the inside into this chicane. There's not much Cullinan can do. And Wood weighs a little bit tight into the chicane, and he's made big contact with the wall. And, not the wall, but the curb. It may as well be a wall because he's got very airborne and he's lost those 2 positions right back again.
Yeah, it was I think if I was Chris Wood and I just had that moment over the curb, I would be having heart palpitations.
Absolutely.
I think what's starting to show now is as well, we've got to think as well, guys. The tyres, as we see Chris Wood there, getting very out of shape on the brakes. So I think that just proves the point I was trying to make. The tyres will be starting to go off for these guys now. So when they're trying to battle and things like that, getting too early on the power can really cost them. And especially when you start banging it over curbs left, right, and centre, that's when the car underside is going to get damaged, as I said earlier. And I think, as I can see, Chris Wood's car is dancing out the corners. And I think that's more due to the tyres being overheated and getting very warm than it is just to him deciding to go for a drifting session around here at Zolder.
I think you're totally right, and also overheating those tyres as well, going to cause a lot of grip issues. I think we're on the last lap for the race leader, and well, last lap for these guys as well. Of course, we've got 15 more seconds to go. Stuart McFadden still got about a third of the lap to go, so this will be his last lap. So we'll see him across the line because he won race 1, of course, and he looked as though he was going to take race 2 as well. Didn't turn out that way with a little bit of contact with Steve Hefford. That was certainly a very entertaining battle, no doubt. But in this race 3, Stuart McFadden has been absolutely dominant, and he's got a 22-second lead out in front. Stuart McFadden rounds the final corner, and he takes race 3 here at Zolder, round 9 of the championship. And he's, well, certainly taking the spoils from today. Still going on this battle. Cullinan having to go defensive against Blake. These guys fighting for the showdown spots. Remember, Cullinan with a poor exit. And Blake might well have the inside line into the final corner. Oh, really struggling at Cullinan, actually. And now Wood is going to go down the inside. Is there going to be contact between the two of them? They're not going to give up. Cullinan just about pulls ahead still. Has he got enough fuel to get to the finish? I think he does. He just about beats Chris Wood to the line by 1/10 of a second. Fantastic battle amongst those guys at the end of that race.
Yeah, that was fantastic stuff. I mean, yeah, fantastic racing throughout the field. Yeah, Stuart McFadden, what can you say? He was just race 3. He was just in a class of his own, and just no one could touch him or had a torch to throw at him. But yeah, class of the field and driver of the race, and yeah, the other other drivers worth mentioning as well with good results. Yeah, Adam McNally finishing in the top 3 in 3rd place, and yeah, Jamie Ayres getting another good result in 4th place as well. So a good night for those guys.
Absolutely. And that means the showdown is set. This is the point I would like to say, and the showdown runners are, I don't know what they are. So we'll keep you posted on the Facebook group, Apex Racing TV, of course. Certainly keep your eyes out. Certainly announce who the showdown is, and of course the first round of the showdown will be next week. Not sure where it is, but that'll be round 10 of the season, round 1 of the showdown, when the points pretty much get reset, apart from a few bonus points as well. Zandvoort. Wow. Okay. Zolder, then Zandvoort. That's going to be pretty insane. Certainly catch that one. Anyway, race 3 today. Stuart McFadden, 22 seconds clear at the race finish. From 10th on the grid. Feels like a while ago, that, because he got the race lead by the end of lap 1. Superb drive. Prince Kern from 12th on the grid up into 2nd. Very good points for him. I don't think he's got into the showdown. Certainly a great effort, though, from the Apex Racing UK driver. Adam McNally, another podium for him. Fantastic race 2 and race 3. Jamie Ayres finishes in 4th. Could have been a lot better for him, unfortunately. Just a couple of mistakes in the end. Michael Blake finishes in 5th from 17th on the grid. Behind that was Rafe Cullinan, then Chris Wood. Max Wright was in 8th, Lee Beam in 9th, and Will Moons was in 10th place. Behind that was Hefford, Jacobson, Stevens, Malcolm, and then the retirees Melcher, Jacott, and Beard. And hopefully we'll get some interviews with drivers this evening, as I frantically look to see if we've got anyone yet. No, we don't, but we will just have a little bit of a preview. So, Tom, next time, of course, Zandvoort, as I found out, similar circuit to this, even more old school, I would say. This circuit basically extreme with the, elevation change and whatnot. That's going to be some race in these cars.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? I'm looking forward to watching that one, and I hope you guys will tune into it as well. Zandvoort, one of the really old school circuits around Europe. I think there's a reason why F1 doesn't go back there anymore, because that's how dangerous it is. So Yeah, it'll be exciting for these guys. I know a couple of the drivers have had issues round here with curbs and things and elevation changes. So round Zandvoort could be a little bit more interesting. As you say, Sam, it's a lot narrower track too, so there might be a few incidents there.
Yeah, I think so. We do have a few drivers wanting interviews now. First up, we'll go for Friends
just
Kern
to accelerate.
first up. Friends, well done out there. In the end, a really good second place in that final race, but you had to use strategy on your side to claim it in the end.
Yes, it was all more like I can't do the undercut because it makes no sense if the guy in front of you doesn't pit and he's braking earlier than you would. So wait for him to pit, and when I saw Ralph pitting, I just went for the next lap to have a good time there to get to jump him. I don't know why I jumped the other two, so I was a bit surprised, but and I miscalculated my fuel again, so it was kind of funny the last part of the race.
Okay, well, it's still pretty comfortable against Adam McNally in the end. But I don't know if you got the showdown or not. Do you know if you qualified at all?
I have no idea.
Yeah, we no one really knows, but we'll find out, I'm sure, this evening. But overall this season, do you think you've made good progress in this car? We've seen you take a couple of spectacular race victories, but today you really had to work hard for those race 2 and race 3 results.
Yes, today it feels like it wasn't it was rather one of the bad meetings. I didn't have the best luck on my side. Yeah, and in race 1 I got a bit distracted by this iRacing slowdown, which is going up in lap 1, and just no, you have to wait 10 seconds just for the small cut I did was a stupid mistake. Yeah, and then I just got distracted in a second chicane and got turned around because I didn't accelerate how it should be there. From then I was happy to recover somewhere in the top 10, and yeah, the rest was the same. Race 2, I had a small incident with Adam. He got a bit sideways and I tapped him, but I don't know where this damage came from. It was a great calculation from iRacing, I would say, but I did my best. And in race 3 again, I got turned around a bit, or a half spin, and in the end, I was a bit surprised about the P2 because I just thought, okay, you can't jump Ralph with the pit stop. And now it turned good in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Really was a good recovery in the end. We do have a few more interviews to get through. So before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, the usual thank you to you for good broadcasting, and to our sponsors, and that's it for me.
Thanks, Prince. And we should see you next week.
Yep.
Who are we going to have next? Tom, who would you like to have a chat? I think I know the answer, but I'll let you choose.
I'll go with Mr. Draycott,
Fine.
my out of commentary teammate. Hello, Chaz.
Good
Mr.
evening.
Draycott.
How are we?
Well, we've seen there you were quite on the pace. We've not seen you in this series before, but it just seems like you got into a few incidents. I know you must be gutted, but what happened in race 3? Was it just the underside of the car that got damaged after you went over the curbs, or?
Well, I smacked it into that first chicane's curb, which is, I'm sure pretty much everyone on iRacing has done that at some point, and it completely did a nose stand, and it just wrote off the front end of the car. And just when you floored it, the revs were just bouncing up and down. It wasn't happy at all. I thought, give it another lap and then try and bring it in, so at least I've got an early stop. But it would have been too early to take fuel and still get to the end. And when I got there, it said there was 8 minutes of repairs left. So unfortunately, that ended my night. And it sort of built up on frustration from making other silly mistakes earlier on. I mean, I was doing all right in race 1. I was within the top 3, and it's easy to do around here, though. There's a lot of curbs and a lot of hard things to hit, and especially in a car that's as sort of slippery as the Porsche, then it's easy to do, as we all know.
Yeah, we've heard from a few other drivers as well that the setup for this car is quite slippery. I mean, we had a couple of spins. We saw Kip Stevens going around a few times, but in race 1 you were going extremely well. I think you qualified 5th, was it? And then you had some great battles. So it just shows that you do have pace around here. So are you looking forward to Zandvoort? Will you be competing with us around there?
I don't actually have Zandvoort on the service. I've never raced there, so I'm not sure that I will be. It's not often that I'm free on a Sunday night, to be fair. So yeah, it's tonight may have been a one-off, but I do enjoy it. So if I can get a bit of time free in future, then yeah, I'll definitely try. But I don't think I'll be doing Zandvoort.
Well, hopefully we'll see you again soon in the series. I know we do have a few other drivers to interview, so just before we let you go, is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout?
Well, everyone that's helping recently with Russ Vectrin, of course yourself as well. Everyone at Apex, always doing a really good job, and no matter who we have in the box, it always sounds professional. So yeah, really good. And to the likes of Adam McNally, Steve Heffer, Jamie Ayres, Ashley Beard, they were all in one big voice chat tonight, and it made it really entertaining. And Kip Stevens as well, he was absolutely hilarious tonight, even though he spun it about 40 times. So yeah, really good night, and yeah, thanks lads, sounded really good on the stream.
Brilliant stuff. Chaz Draycott there. Unfortunate for him around here in Zolder, but hopefully we'll see you again soon. Thanks.
Cheers, boys.
Now, Ryan, you got the choice between Adam McNally and Stuart McFadden. Who are you going to go for?
I think I'm going to have to go for my team boss, Adam McNally. Hey, hey, Adam, you there?
Yeah, all right.
How you doing?
Fine.
Uh,
Good racing tonight.
yeah, I looked at that battle between you and Jamie Ayres in the early stages of race three. Race three looked fantastic. Tell us about your evening from your perspective.
I went out for qualifying when I shouldn't have, so I gave myself a pit start. So I didn't want to also wreck it by having a crash with someone when I shouldn't have been there. So race 1 was just lonely drive around myself. Race 2 and 3 had some great battles. It's just the slowdowns and them curves affect the Porsche so bad. It just seemed to lift the car completely off the floor.
Yeah, I noticed in the race one, 2, and 3, some people were taking a lot of curb and slowing down a lot. So we just presumed it was a slowdown. How are you getting to grips with the car now? I know at the start of the season you were saying you were struggling a little bit, but I think this evening you were on the pace and right up close to the front. And from what I've seen, it's probably the best round of the season you've had so far.
I'm just getting the grips with the car slowly. Finding it's definitely the brakes. It's brakes where I'm trying to improve on most. I'm always nervous coming onto the brakes. I just dare and press them hard enough. So I'm finding I'm having to brake 50 yards earlier than everybody else. And then sometimes I'm letting off because I'm thinking I've braked too much and I'm missing the corner or I'm locking them up. But it's a proper good fun car to drive. Really hard to master. But does bring some good racing.
Nice. So will you be racing at Zandvoort next Sunday?
Aye, definitely.
Nice one.
Really, really enjoying the car again. Starting to get the grips with it. Having some great battles with people.
Good to hear. Is there anyone you want to give a quick shout out to, or any thanks you want to say?
Just a quick thanks to all the lads that broadcast. Well done to all the lads that won tonight, especially Lee Dima and I puts a lot of work into the Porsches, so great to see him get a win. And Stu, race 3, unbelievable pace. He was just checked out after lap 1. Frank, he was on it all night. I mean, there's loads of lads, decent pace. And like I said, should be good next week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to next Sunday. Yeah, thanks for popping in, Adam. And yeah, I think I'm looking forward to racing with you guys on Tuesday again. It's been too long.
Yeah, can't wait. Should be good fun. Have you back.
Sweet. Thanks for popping in, Adam. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Right, thank you very much.
Now, we could barely not interview the driver who has pretty much dominated tonight. Stuart McFadden, absolutely superb today, mate, and could have been the triple, but you still got to be pretty happy with the double tonight.
Yeah, it could have been a triple. It was my own fault in race 2. Massive apologies to Steve Efford for that. That was 100% my fault. It could have been the triple, but I mean, I'm still over the moon with a double. Race 1 and race 3. Especially race 1 I was really pleased with my start. I just came out of nowhere. I thought I've got a terrible launch and it just seemed to grip up and I was like, great. I just got a massive great launch. Just covered inside of Fern going into the first corner and then just tried to control the gap. And then the same with race 3. I don't know what happened at the start. I just seemed to get the absolute best start of all time. And yeah, just kind of made my way up the grid.
Yeah, absolutely. You went from 10th to first on that opening lap in race three. It was pretty insane. Going into Zandvoort next weekend, I don't think you've qualified for the showdown. I don't know if they have any like extra spots. You certainly ought to get one if they do. But that's going to be a really interesting round. I guess this one kind of prepares you quite well because, it's another old school circuit. It's another narrow circuit with elevation change, few chicanes as well. Should be good fun.
Yeah, I got my first ever BSR win at Zandvoort in the BSR World Series. So I really like the track. It's exactly it's like it's like Zandvoort. It's like Zolder, where there's not a lot of there's a couple of overtaking spots, but there's not a lot. The two main ones being the first corner and then the last chicane before that, the two long right-handers. That's the kind of main overtaking opportunities. But I'm sure I'll be trying to sneak a couple inside in the middle sector, where it's really really tight. So yeah, looking forward to next week because Zandvoort's a track I absolutely adore. Such a good track.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got a great flow to it. Yeah, before we let you go, anyone you'd like to give a shout outs to?
Not really. I mean, I just kind of thanks to you guys for doing the broadcast. It's absolutely amazing. I don't know if it's Tom's debut on here tonight, but I was watching the races in between the I was watching the races on the broadcast in between the kind of sessions going up. It's absolutely amazing. So keep it up, Tom.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Stuart. And yeah, we'll see you soon on Apex Racing TV.
Yeah, you'll see me on Thursday night, BSRTC.
Cool. See you then.
See you then.
So I think that pretty much rounds us out for tonight. I will just ask, yeah, Tom, your first rounds in this series. Of course, you also had the first round in the UABA, so you've pretty much been spoiled in terms of the great series that we cover on Apex Racing TV. But yeah, just your thoughts of today.
Yeah, I think it's been some fantastic racing. Race one was really interesting. Just the battles that came down to Stuart McFadden obviously going through for the win for that. Race two for me was probably one of the best races I've ever seen in the iRacing service. I've been racing, well, I've been on the service now since 2013 and done quite a bit. But that battle between Stuart McFadden and Hefford was just absolutely unbelievable. And then race three was a little bit more spaced out. We had, but towards the end, when pit stops came to fruition, we had some great racing towards the end. As I say, they were spaced out in the midfield, but then towards the end, it was really good. So yeah, overall, really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have as well.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone has enjoyed this round of the championship here at Zolder. Of course, yeah, next week, Zandvoort. First round of the showdown as well. Should be really interesting that round of the championship. It's yeah, getting to the point in the championship where yeah, certainly can be very decisive in the championship title. But for now, from me, from Ryan, from Tom, and from Marco, we'll say goodbye and we'll see you next time.